So I got to this job and the customer was complaining that the water was coming up over the top of the septic tank, but nobody had lived there in like 6 months. The owner had died, and you could actually see the water bubbling up out. So I dug it up. It was only about 2 inches deep or so, and there's actually a giant root right over the top of the tank, so you couldn't open the lid until I busted that root off of there. At this point I'm thinking, man, it's going to be bad in there. There's a video of the root going right through the handle, right into underneath the septic tank. There's a better shot of it. You can hear it gurgling over there. Still can't lift it up. So I had to bust it out of there. And I think, oh, just water. I stick it in there. Nope. Full of roots. And not just roots. There was wet wipes and there was grease and Q-tips and all kinds of stuff. It was really bad. You're basically just sucking the water from the leak in the house out. But there was a lot of solids in that tank. It's completely solid. Finally got it in and I immediately sucked up the grease and the wet wipes. So I got this pressure washer out. This thing's brutal. I had no idea it could actually chop through the roots. Here's a little close-up of what it looks like here. Hold on. See, I'm recording it there so you can see it. That's wild. Blew through the roots. Look at that. It's actually growing out the side of the tank there. Got that chunk out. And actually, I sucked a lot of it out, and then the jetter broke, so I blew all the water back in, and I'm using this rake now to pull the stuff out.
Oh, you said that? Oh, okay. You're supposed to use your tears.
Talking on the phone to my brother. He's on his way over there to help me fix the jetter. But man, there was huge chunks in there still that have yet to be pulled out. If you look right here, you can see. You know, at first I thought this was roots, but now I'm starting to think this just might be a giant piece of shit. I don't know how it got in here, but it's definitely in here.
It looks like equilibrium and stuff. They can have like trace amounts.
Right here, I'm like, you know what? I saw it online where they did that like ice hole fishing. I think I'll do that with this. It's called asshole fishing. That's too big to fit in the hole though. Yeah, that's not gonna fit. Nope, ain't gonna fit. So I'm gonna sit there and pull as much of this out as I can. At this point, I'm so friggin' filthy, it's like whatever. I thought maybe I could chop at it with the pickaxe. After a couple whacks of that, I realized that's a bad idea because it's splashing me. Then I had the idea to put this lid on here so it'll hold it up out of the water, and that way I can blast it with the pressure washer into smaller pieces. This actually seemed to work pretty well. Let's see if I can lift this thing out of here. It's super heavy, but it's smaller than it was. Let's get this hose out of the way. Oh yeah, here it comes. Look at that thing. Man, that thing's heavy, and it's nasty too. I really should have just stopped everything and told him to come back. Told him we'd come back with another person and charged much more for this, because this is not your average pump out. It's starting to rip. Man, that's a big root. This is one of the biggest ones I pulled out of there, really. It's huge. I mean, I got a big chunk of it out. I can't let that fall back in. See, I put all the dirt, or I put all the water back in the tank too, so the roots and stuff would float. I put all the sewage in there, and that way the roots would float up to the top, because they were floating on at the bottom of the tank. Most people probably would have left them, but I'm not most people. Got that big one out, and now I'm going fishing for roots. Just kind of fishing around in there and seeing what I pull up, and I'm pulling up all kinds of stuff. Oh, another massive one. Look at that. Damn. You know, rewatching this, I forgot how much work that was to get out of there. I did this a couple weeks ago, now I'm editing it. Hey, bud. I'm trying to do a voiceover over here. What are you barking at? Shh. Man, look at that. Of course I could cut the dog barking out, but man, that root is huge. You gotta remember too, this root was basically shaped like the septic tank. It was the size of the entire septic tank. I've been chopping it up for, I was there over 4 hours. I mean, this video is long. It's going to be like 15 minutes, but I've been working on this for hours and hours and hours. I'm just kind of trying to show the highlights, because, man, I almost wish I had like a chain and an excavator and I could just wrap it around and pull it out. But instead, just got to be resourceful. So I'm chopping all around it, because it's actually too big to come out the hole there. You can see part of it, but underneath it's way, way bigger. So I'm chopping up all around the sides to try to break it up to get it out of there. All right, let's go ahead and speed this up. At this point I'm thinking, man, I almost got this thing out of there, but it's just not quite coming out. I might have to go do some more cutting. Just keep on chopping away at this thing. It comes out eventually, I promise. I was there. There we go. Whew. Man. That is a big friggin' turd root. All right, I'm gonna go poop fishing again. Get these little stragglers. I mean, even these are big roots, really. Like, that's pretty impressive to get out. It's just not as big as the other one. This is what happens when you just neglect your tank for 30 years and plant trees right next to it. At least in this case, we can actually get the roots out. A lot of times the roots grow in and they crack the tank and just tear it to pieces. All right, now I can go ahead and pump that poo water out. Here's some of the roots over here on the outlet T side. The tank wasn't draining at all because this pipe is completely filled with roots, which is sort of a blessing because I think it's protected the leach field. Damn, look at that thing. Wild. All right, I finally got this thing clean. Look at this stuff. That was super heavy and hard to get out. I pulled it up with a rake. You see there's a massive leak dripping in right there. Actually, looks like they shut the water off. It slowed down. It was much, much worse before. The water was coming out of the top. This tank had never been pumped. It was a friggin' disaster. But check this out. This is actually growing around the lid. See, it's in the shape of the lid. And then this went up into the tank and the lid sat right there. So if there's a tree nearby, roots are gonna find your tank. Hey, if you got to the end of the video, thanks for checking it out. Wasn't the funnest making it, but I'm glad I had that content. Hi Max. Hey mister. Hey mister. I'm out here making the voiceover in the morning for Max. If you guys like that video and you want to learn more about septic systems, I'm going to put a link in the description down below for a guide I made of everything you need to know about your septic system. So click the link into your email and check it out. I think you'll learn a lot. Hey buddy! Don't lick me. Okay, thanks.